and that is why journalists don't want to join us. But in as much that you will plan it very well and include journalists, we have to ensure that they are secured. So it is their security that matters, because this is a
Okay.
country that whereby a police officer can just come and start shooting.
Hello,
Okay,
Intactivists. I have a returning guest with me today, Ade Solomon. How are you?
I'm okay, sir. Good evening, everyone.
How is everything going with the African campaigns for Intactivism?
Actually, what I could say about that campaign now is I got a feedback from one of our interactivists from Kenya, yes, and Prince Maloba. He was actually talking to me. I think I still have his message on my Facebook Messenger, when he was actually addressing the issue of poor funding given to Africa interactivists. And I actually have to say, okay, what if we could be able to talk to these people that they should fund us very well, so that we can actually make sense in our campaign. I have to let you know that actually I don't know how to do about it, because I believe that everyone with his own problem, and like everyone faces his own interactivism, and if there's any way that we could actually try to raise fund by ourselves here in Africa, that would be better. That was what I just told him yesterday. But I let him also know that we should not be blaming anyone for poor funding towards Africa interactivism. But I believe funding is one of the problems that we face in Africa. And without enough fund, I don't think we'll be able to go far in doing anything concerning interactivism, because there is no one that you call like this now, and telling her that you should join you in your campaign, and you will be able to do it for like a long time or a longer time. I said I contacted like two of my campaign team. Yes, I have to tell them that what happened, that you people have not been joining us in campaigning, because I told them that they should go uh door to door, house to house campaign, because I've been sick. So and I don't want my sickness to actually affect the campaign. But what they could be able, would they leave their work, their place of work, to actually go for campaign? And even as well, if they even go for campaign, I'm not seeing them as something like, okay, maybe probably they are not actually some like these two people I called, they are not actually interested.
You cut out.
That can you hear me?
Yeah, you just cut out every
Can
now
you hear
and
me
then.
now?
Yeah, you cut out every now and then. Do you know what's going on your side?
I think it's network actually. No, let me continue. If it is cut out,
Okay.
I can
Okay,
start. I can
continue.
repeat myself.
Okay.
So I was telling them that let us do this. That we should be regarding ourselves as a voluntary campaigner against this brutality and a menace. They were, without freedom, that they cannot leave their place of work to actually campaign. That the only thing they can do is whenever they are free at their place of work, they can campaign. But once they are not free, there's no how they can actually take time to campaign. I actually reason with them. I reason with them. I have to just like, okay, if that is the case, but I should be able to let others follow what I practice and we preach. So the same message I gave to Prince Maloba from Kaya yesterday, I was like, you don't have to actually blame anybody. Nobody is culpable of anything. The thing we need to do in Africa is for us to be able to create values for ourselves. And when we create value for ourselves, we'll be able to get fund. And when we get fund, we'll be able to do anything that we want, and fund our campaign, and be able to make sure that everybody are included, like everybody are mobilized to also campaign for what we preach against. So it was like, okay, does that mean that we should not look up to the white or like to the westerner again? I say, if it is like that, maybe we should not look up to the westerner again, but we should be able to create something that will make us to be able to be independent and thrive on our own without looking up to anybody in order to campaign. If actually we are interested in this campaign of a thing, then it was like, okay, that is a very good idea. But he said, for we that they are still starters, that they still need the help of the westerners, they still need the help of the United States, European, and everything, and everybody there. And I say, okay, if that is the case, if you see anybody that can actually help your campaign, please go for the person and actually let the person be encouraged to support you people. And it was like, okay, thank you so much. Because what happened, why he said that was like a man called Kata was actually the one saying, I think should be December, when he was actually telling Prince Maloba that he will support African entertainment and make sure that everything goes well. And the man has been waiting for the Kata, Mr. Kata, to actually come back and give everything about how he will support them. But since December last year, he has not come back to actually support them. So I think that was why Prince Maloa was actually contemplating on that issue of it. And for me personally, what I believe that could happen, we have our own strategy that we just listed. We listed some strategy that we're able to drive our campaign, like that we're able to make our campaign a successful campaign this year, 2024. We made mention of something like we have some states that we have not visited. Actually, in 2020, in 2020, we discovered that those states that we some states in Nigeria that we have not visited were actually because of terrorism that time, because there were serious bombing, like serious terrorism in 2020, 2019, 2020 in Nigeria. That is that is in some northern part of the country. So because of that, we couldn't be able to visit those states. So we have, since there is reduction in terrorism and any other thing, that banditry and the rest like that, kidnapping and the rest. So we have actually thought about it that this year 2024 we should be able to get some volunteers that will be able to go to all those areas and campaign against male genital mutilation. And why we're able to do that, that means before we can actually do that kind of a thing, we have to we have to we have to support them. We have to support them. We can't just send people for outreach services like that without giving them enough support, without giving them enough protection, without giving them food. Because sending people to places like Jos, places like Kaduna, places like Kano, places like Castina, that is like 22 hours to a place where I live. I can't even send anybody to those places without actually saying that you have enough security, you have food, you have shelter, you have all those things. Because I know what could happen if actually anyone could go to that place without enough food, shelter, or protection, or security, or anything. So we need to provide necessary things for those people that will be that will volunteer themselves to go to all those states and campaign. And we actually discovered that in those states now, some of them are actually in support of sorry are actually in support of they are actually against male genital mutilation. Some of them, because we discovered that in Hausa land, that is another part of Nigeria, we discovered that they said they are too primitive. And why they say they are primitive? Because they don't cut, and they now regard them as people that are very dirty in nature. That is why other tribes are calling them very dirty in nature. So because of this will enhance our campaign there, and they'll be able to know that, okay, in as much there's a set of people that are actually um willing to encourage them to do the practice they have been doing. So let us keep doing it. So
Oh,
those are our strategies. And one of our strategies is to actually go to the cities in Nigeria where we want to actually lift up our banners. I want to actually lift up big banners this year. We want to make sure that in every city in Nigeria we have our big banners, so that anybody who is entering a city will actually see that say no to major genital mutilation. That will actually be sending messages, sending signals to people that this art is bad. We want to make sure that our banners are everywhere. Even if we cannot continue to make sure we are giving people stickers, because giving people stickers is actually like is very stressful. We want to make sure say our banners are everywhere. When you want to enter any major city in Nigeria, our banner should be there, and you should be able to extend this kind of practice. We should be able to extend this kind of practice to our neighboring country like Ghana, like Benin Republic, like Niger, like Chad Republic. If actually we are successful here in doing all those stuff like that. So, and one of our strategies again is to go to schools. I mean, primary schools, like preliminary schools. We want to go to schools. We want to actually select some children that have been affected by major genital mutilation, take them to hospital for treatment. Many people are in many pupils are in those schools whereby they are affected, they are really affected by this practice, and they are not well taken care of. And some of them are even impoverished to the extent that they can't feed. They don't give them enough food. They are malnourished. So we want to make sure that we extend our hands to the pupils in school, so that it will not be that it is only we are campaigning against male genital mutilation, but we're also helping the younger ones to get out of malnutrition, and to actually effect positive changes in them by by empowering them, throughout their primary or preliminary studies. We actually have that kind of strategies again to enter into the society, whereby I believe that there's no society that we enter into with that kind of instinct that will not be able to win through. We believe that. Then another one is we though this one we started this one last year, whereby we have some student union leaders in tertiary institution, that is on campuses, where we told them last year that they should support us. Though some supported us and some were saying that they cannot support us that because they don't know anything, and they are too ignorant of being a supporter against major genital mutilation. So those one that are in support, we want to give them shirts. We want to provide shirts for them. We want to give them shirts. So by the time we give them shirt, and maybe probably give them one or two things that will make them to be identified as a campaigner against major genital mutilation, everybody will see them as an activist, as an activist against rubbish, against a poor practice. So that is another plan. So we have actually written all those plans down, and we are trying to implement them. I believe if my health and I could be able to if I'm sound, I think I'll be able to implement. I'll be able to work with my team and be able to implement all these strategies that we've laid down. So we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do in Africa. We have a lot to do. We have a lot to do. I'm not even hearing from Sherry from I think Sherry from Uganda or Kenya. I've not heard from me. Mukasa from Uganda too. I've not been hearing from Mukasa from Uganda. So these are the things. There was a time I told people that I want to travel to Kenya to actually give them a public lecture on major genital mutilation. But I think that was when I was very sick that time. So, and these people were actually ready for me to come and give them a public lecture on major genital mutilation. Things that are happening in Africa, there's some countries in Africa that they are not even aware of our campaign.
Okay,
Countries
so
in, okay.
yeah. So you want to go to these schools and teach kids. You want to have
Yes.
banners everywhere in
Ye-
Africa or
ye-
Nigeria or Africa. Like, where
the,
is your
that
target?
the if I want to build another country, I should build my country first. I believe that. If I want to actually campaign in another country, I should be able to campaign and make sure that at least maybe 70% eradicate a poor practice in my country before I move to another country. So let us actually be successful in raising banners in Nigeria first before we start giving banners to Ghana, Chad, and Benin Republic. Do you understand that?
Yes. So, and you're gonna do this by not only protesting in the street, but by going door to door.
Yes.
Okay, that seems like a lot. Um, so what kind of funding would you need for this to be constant? Like, is this gonna be like a year-round thing, or is this gonna be like, I don't know, 3 months out of the year, or is it gonna be like splotchy throughout the year?
The thing is if we have 36 states in Nigeria. Can you hear me?
Yes.
And the major city we have in Nigeria that I can say very well we have, I can't say that because some capitals are not actually cities in Nigeria, but we can say the cities that we have in Nigeria, they are like out of 36, they are like 19 cities. Those 19 cities now, if we could be able to get funding, like we be able to get fund, we can actually get it done within 6 months. Within 3 to 6 months, we should be done. We should be done with racing banner in all those 19 cities.
All of 19 cities in 6 months.
Yes,
That is
yes.
crazy. Going door to door. Wow.
No, that means that in such a case, our team, we have to divide ourselves. We have to actually divide ourselves. We have to use those student union leaders. We have to use everyone interested in our campaign to go into the campaign. Everyone interested, including farmers, including traders that we have met and we have their numbers. We have to call them to actually start. This is the way we can actually do it door to door. If not, we will not be able to do that. By doing that, you have to just like, okay, those students in school, those students that are in school, they will be the one to take care of any campaign around their school. Then those traders, anywhere you find yourself as a trader, where you live, those people around you will be the one to be in charge of those ones. Then me and my team, we actually know some places that we don't have enough campaigners and interactivities there. So you have to go there and campaign door to door. So by so doing that, we believe that we'll be able to finish the 90 cities, 90 cities, the major 90 cities in 6 months. In 6 months, should be able to be done in 6 months.
Okay, so is that with the current amount of volunteers you have now, or do you need more volunteers?
We need more volunteers. And before we can get more volunteers, those people need to be seeing our positivity. People need to be seeing how we effect changes, positive changes in the society, maybe through empowerment.
All right, so how many volunteers are you planning on getting? Like, what's the
I'm, I'm, I,
expectation?
if you can get like 70 to 80 volunteers.
70 to 80 volunteers.
Yes.
How
You can
many
get
do you
70 to,
how many do you have now?
we are just 33.
Oh, wait, 33?
Yes.
Oh, that's a lot actually. That's really good. Yeah, that's you're doing really good with 33 volunteers. Wow, that's awesome. So obviously it seems like Nigeria is definitely taking towards your message with 33 volunteers. Um,
Yeah. There's even again I want to meet at Kogi State University. Actually, she messaged me that she's interested in the campaign, and I link the girl up, like I introduce the girl to 2 or 3 interviews from United States, and those people they told me that they have already know about the girl, and the girl has been campaigning against major mutilation for like 6 months. And I said that is very good, and I just got to know this girl. They now told me that I should go to her school to go and know her, but because of my sickness last year December, I couldn't go. So I think I'll go, and by so doing, I believe that for a girl to actually like our campaign, I believe that two or three of our friends will also like the campaign and they would like to join hands with her to actually fight against genital mutilation. And that is another way, because I was thinking before that why can't we have a student that can campaign against genital mutilation in Kogi State University? We didn't have anyone, but right now we have one there, and that one I believe that can multiply. It can multiply to like 5, 10. So we believe on that it depends on the how we actually reinforce the environment and empower that girl in that school.
okay, that's awesome. So, how would people go about giving you like donations? And are you a nonprofit for those who want like the tax write-off and stuff like that? Like a registered nonprofit?
If anyone wants to donate to our campaign, we actually the Nigeria is not allowed to create GoFundMe. I would have said we should be using GoFundMe. But there is an interactivist in United States of America that volunteer herself to be receiving money for us. So we are using our paper account to receive fund. So whenever we get money through our paper account, she send it to us. I will get it. And that is the only way we get fund.
Okay, I thought you had a website, Intact Africa.
Yes, we have a website, and the website is working for donation too.
Okay. Is there a reason why they should not go through the website and go through?
We the website is whenever we make use anybody make use of the website to actually donate to us, we receive it in 7 days, business 7 working business day. So sometimes we might need money, maybe very urgent, and someone donates money to us. 7 days is too very long. So maybe that is why we actually make use of paper. So I don't know why it takes too long for us to get the money on the website for 7 days. At least something that we should be able to get instant. But for the website, we get it like 7 days. That is business working day.
Okay, that is a long time. So,
Yes.
what are the different kinds of issues of doing intactivism in Africa versus America, in your opinion, if you had to like compare the two?
One of the issues that we have here is like I said, funding. But apart from funding, we can actually assess something like we call cultural practice. Compared to America, I don't know, maybe America have their own culture, but I believe that everything. I believe that they have their own Western culture too. But in Africa culture here, some people believe that everything that their forefathers have been doing, they have to continue doing it, and that is one of the things that we have to erase. I do call it misconception. So we have to erase the misconception so that they will not get deluded. So these are the things. And I see our people as they look up to Americans, they look up to Europeans to do things. And when Europeans are no more interested in doing all those things, now some people will tell us why that the white people are the one that introduced, that told them that they should be doing circumcision. That what happened to Bigate? Bigate is still coming to Africa to actually sponsor circumcision. That what happened? That is he not a white person? That is he not from western part of of the world? And I say, oh, it's because Bigate is coming to Africa to actually sponsor circumcision. That's why you people are keep doing it. They say yes. Okay, there's no maker circumcision. There's no make circumcision in America again. People have started stopping the habit. Then I say no, unless Bill Gates could be able to tell them that they should stop. You see that kind of mentality. So they look up to people up there, and whenever they see that those people up there are not actually stopping things, they see it as something that they cannot actually stop. And that is why sometimes I make samples of people that have actually stopped genital mutilation in America to actually effect the changes in Nigeria and Africa here. And anybody I meet, if you're actually talking to me that there are some people that are doing it somewhere, so I have to tell you that must you practice what other people are practicing? Can't you see that yourself? Can't you see yourself that this thing is poor, this thing is bad, this thing is too devilish? So we can actually say that American people, but I cannot say all. Like majority of people in America, uh they are well versed about the complications male circumcision can bring. But people here, we are the one telling them now. They did not know about what complications or any effect male genital mutilation could bring to their children. So we are the one telling them now, and our failure to keep telling them now will bring more harm to the younger ones. Africa are just like people that they don't like reading. If you are not telling them by facially expressing yourself, they will not go online to read anything. So that is Africa. They will not go online to read anything. But America can actually be there and start reading things online and start getting the knowledge. But in Africa, they will not do that. So you have to keep telling them. If you don't tell them, they will not stop. So that is it, sir.
Okay. Is your intactivist group Intact Africa? Is that the main intactivist group in Africa?
That is what I said. I said we have Prince Maluba in Kenya,
Yeah.
Cherry also in Kenya, then Mukasa in Uganda. Then we have I've forgotten the name of this guy in Ghana. So these are the interactivities that I know that we are actually communicating together every time. We communicate every time. If you want to actually let us have a what's it called, a meeting that will involve Maluba, I can actually tell my mom Maluba so that we can invite Maluba for for to express himself. You actually hear from Maluba what he has and what he could be able to talk about. I think the man is an elderly man. Maluba should be around 50 something years or 60, and he's doing very well in Kenya. Sherry is also trying her best too. So these are the interactivist group that we have in Africa. We were the one that just started introducing interactivism to Niger Republic, to Chad Republic, to Benin Republic. They were not aware. So, and that is why the reason why we're introducing campaign against genital mutilation to them was because they are very close to our country. Like this country, our neighboring countries, we can enter the country at any time. It just depends on the flight ticket or maybe flight ticket. So this is what is happening, and we have to keep doing things that will be able to enable that will be able to make positive change happens in our society. So as I can say that we have our interactivist group in Nigeria, we have Kenya, then we have Uganda. Then there is one in Ghana, which they are working with us. Those one in Chad, Niger, and Benin Republic, they are also with us because it is our member that are there. For our part of our member that are there.
Okay,
So those one are
so
also
it's all the members of Intact Africa that are in these five different um
yes,
countries.
yes, yes,
Okay, that makes sense. Wow, so you guys are you guys are big, but it's also not that big because you guys are spread out kind of thin
yes,
across Africa. Okay, that
yes.
makes sense. So, do you guys then protest year round, like when you guys have time, or how does that work? Do you guys have like a schedule and have meetings?
Yes, we made a plan last year, December, that early this year, January, I and Maloba said he will come to Nigeria here from Kenya, that we would like to campaign with me and my team and my organization so that we can move around. I said that is not bad. In fact, I think one of the United States interactivists also said that he will come to Nigeria and campaign with us. But I think I contacted the man early this year and I said that he couldn't make it. And what about Maluba? Maluba was complaining about funding. Manuba was complaining about funding that he could that for him to be able to come to this country that we will have to spend a lot of money for flight tickets. So I was seeing different things to whatever they say as good rationales for them not to come. So we actually had a plan to campaign together and move from one place to another so that people can see us, and by so doing that I actually thought about going for journalists that will make sure that our campaign will be on air, on radio and television. But all these things cannot be done with just by saying it. We have to actually use a lot of resources to do all these things. So, and when those resources were not gotten, how will you be able to do that? It's not possible. So, I still message Maloba that anytime we will be able to get fund and we are ready to do campaign together, we can do campaign together. This will influence others and will make others to know that we are serious about this. Many of my people that are actually health workers, they are telling me that, Ade, do you think you are serious with what you are doing? Do you think your members, your team are serious with this? And those people, as I'm talking to you, sir, those people, they let me just say they were my colleagues when I was still working. Those people were actually the one mutilating children. I'm telling you now. They were the one mutilating. Why are they mutilating them? Because the WHO is paying them. WHO is paying them. There's some health committees, health organizations that are coming to Africa to pay them hugely. Like they are paying them very well for mutilating children. When are we going to stop it? When Bill Gates came to Nigeria and dropped 20 something millions dollars for African activism, that is too much. You're actually sponsoring a bad habit, and you are giving enough fund for them to keep cutting. So many of these people that are nurses, that are doctors, they don't want to stop because of the money they are getting from this practice, and they are well paid. And that is why they will tell me that instead of you to join us, you keep campaigning against what you suppose give you money. But I told them I'm not after this money. If after this money, I would have joined you guys to mutilate children since. But I don't want, because I know it's a very poor heart and my conscience. I have conscience. Maybe people don't have conscience. So many things we have thought. Even Maloba, many things we have talked together. There was a time Maloba host a campaign within Uganda and Kenya, whereby people were very many that campaign with him. In fact, many people in his village, they campaign with him. They campaign with him. The same thing with Mukasa. Last year, I think, yes, it was early last year. Yes, early last year, I went to Owerri. I went to Owerri. Actually that was when I relocated to Owerri, and we went to their major city and campaigned there. It was very massive to the extent that people were actually questioning us. And that was the same day that we met an humanitarian, Mr. Ozoma. Yes, that man should be around 72 years old. He was actually talking about the history of circumcision. He told us the history of circumcision in Africa. He told us the history of circumcision in Africa and how we could be able to tackle the circumcision and anything that could come as effect from it, that we should be able to tackle it. That these are the things that you the younger ones should be doing. That but they keep doing things that are not even making sense. Like they join hands with people that actually mutilate children. So the man actually talked many things. Like the man, I think I still have the video where the man was actually there. Like we had an interview together where the man was actually talking about things that happened in the past about the history of circumcision in Africa. So that is from an humanitarian. So we actually met many people, with that time. So we have plans. We have plans. We really have plans, sir.
Okay, so before you go out and protest, do you go and contact the journalists, or do you have the journalists' information to contact them beforehand?
That is our next move. I have some journalists as friends, but I have to make sure that before I invite them, I have to tell them that they will be secured because those activism on protest that we have been doing, we can't actually say that we were secured, and that is why journalists don't want to join us. But in as much that you will plan it very well and include journalists, we have to ensure that they are secured. So it is their security that matters because this is a
Okay.
country that whereby a police officer can just come and start shooting.
All right, that's intense. Well, Ade, we are running out of time. I do appreciate having you on. Is there anything that you would like our audience to know before I let you go?
Okay, dear audience, I would like to tell you that anywhere, anytime, any day, make sure you fight against genital mutilation because it's like a devil living amidst us, and such a devilish act shouldn't be found in a polite and society like this. So I would like to let you all know that it is not only by giving birth to children, it is not only by giving birth to babies, it is by protecting them. And one of the way to protect babies is to preach, is to fight against genital mutilation because that mutilation that you are seeing there is amputation. And I don't know how someone will cut and amputate his baby genital and will not feel remorseful about it. So please stay away from dirty heart. It is very dirty. And don't actually encourage anyone to practice same, even if you are or if you are mutilated, because you are not given the consent. If you actually give the consent, you will not allow anybody to touch your genitals. I wish you all well.
That was Ade from Intact Africa. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up so the algo can take this to other genital autonomy advocates like yourself and share this with your friends. If you would like Ade back on the show to fill you in on what's going on with his campaigns and more, leave a comment down in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Bye.